Howdy ho, neighbor. Well, I just noticed when I got on camera that there's a garbage bag behind my head. But I reached back there and I'm like, that's shoes. Those are shoes from the bed bug crisis that I took out of the closet and sealed up tight. I mean, that was last May when I had bed bugs, the May before last. So I think I'm safe. They say a year and a half to be positively safe, but after a year they starve to death. That's how you deal with bed bugs, is you starve them, and like fleas and stuff and other vermin, they can lie dormant for like a very long period of time. Um, and then I guess they sense heat, body heat. I don't know. That's I was going by what I've been told. But the reason that's there is I had like one very eventful day Thursday. I had was like busy all damn day basically, but everything that I wanted thrown out, I like had to dig out of the closets, and that's when my large nephew was coming. It was also the day that the dude came from Coleman, who also is large, and he went. He's supposed to be helping me move, so I gave him some names, and he said something about hooking me up with a primary caregiver. He was very fascinated by the fact that my cardiologist was murdered and my primary caregiver was uh, apparently they have a good case against him. He hasn't been tried yet, so innocent until proven guilty. Uh, but they have a very strong case against him for raping an 11-year-old. So he was fascinated by that. He actually, during my appointment, looked up the cardiologist, which I already told him about. I don't know what he was expecting to read. He's like, "What's the guy's name?" I had to spell out his name for him. I was like, "This is really not, you know." He's like, "I haven't seen you forever, and I'm gonna waste time googling stuff on the computer." But anyways, he was all fidgety and like he's like a hyper type of dude, but he had his mask on, and he was like, I had a chair set for him by the door because it was a home visit, and I sat far away from him, and I followed protocol and stuff, and then I was like, he was like, "This is basically up to you whether I wear this mask or not." And it was a hot day, but I had the air conditioner running, and then like had a fan blowing at the chair to channel the cold air toward him. But it's just those masks are uncomfortable if you wear them for a long period of time because you're breathing in your own CO2, your own carbon monoxide, if you're a smoker, I guess. And it's like having a scarf on your face. It's bad when you got glasses because it steams up your glasses. And I had glasses and a hat that one day, and I was like, shit, this is like when I used to be retarded. I don't know if I still am. And smoke. Then the smoke would get trapped in my glasses because I would have a hat on. And I was like, took the hat off. It didn't make much difference as far as fogging up my glasses. But anyways, the dude said he was tested, so I just told him to take the mask off. And then he went so far as to fist bump me when he left. But my nephew showed up at the same time he was here, which turned out to be a good deal because the guy was very hyper and wanted to do something. So I deliberately bought, because of the bed bugs, see, it all ties in. I had bought like a couch cover that was supposed to cover a love seat type couch, which is exactly what I have. But it wouldn't cover it any way we tried to cover it. So ended up splitting it with an X-Acto knife and then taping garbage bags around it and stuff just to make sure that the garbage would take it. And oddly enough, my landlord showed up right before then, like an hour before everybody else showed up. And there was mattresses and a couch and a chair sitting on the porch. And I was like, somebody moving out or what's going on here or whatever. But it wasn't really about that. I think it was. I think this person upstairs got new furniture and was throwing her stuff out and asked the landlord to do it. And I think, I don't know, maybe somebody did move out. I don't talk to my landlord, so um, they did it slick, man. They just take saran wrap, but that's a smooth surface, and just wrapped up the whole mattress in like saran wrap type stuff. I don't know. I think it just was saran wrap, like the largest size possible. They did it like they had done it 1,000 times before. I mean, they looked very professional. Him and his kid, who's a great big dude. He, I've been lived here so long. I seen him when I was looking down at him, like, hey there, little feller. And now it's like, I gotta look up at him. He's big, and I was like, I could ask them to throw this couch out, and I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. I'll let I'll let I actually could have saved like $100 if I just could, I had already said though that I would give my nephew that money, because that guy was so hyper. He would have thrown all my shit out for me for free. So I don't know. So I had him do some other stuff too. I had my nephew do some other stuff, like dig around in the stupid closet uh, in the hallway, which you have to imagine like a gigantic door, like equal to any two doors in your house, 2.5 doors in width, and this big closet, but it closed instead of opening out like a sane person would have designed it. It goes in, so you can only use like half the closet, or you have to like walk around the door once you're inside there. I used to like throw cardboard over top of the door to use that blocked off half of the closet. Anyways, I had him go in there and get my electric bike out of there, which I had a crackhead put in there, and they were like, "How the hell did somebody get this in here?" And I was like, "Crackhead." And they're like, "What?" And I said, "A highly motivated crackhead can get a lot done." And yeah, they'll figure shit out. They will. So why am I keeping my glasses on? Um, it's the truth. It's like gave the guy like $20 to do some stuff around the house, and that was one of the things that he did. Um, the guy that somebody tried to stab with like a Bowie knife I had talked about, and my brother found the knife and was like, "What's with this retarded knife, and why is it under the couch?" It's like, oh, somebody tried to stab somebody with him, and I had to take it off for him. And they were wearing, it was in the wintertime when the attempted stabbing happened, but it was a great big knife, and it's just like a cheap piece of crap knife with a dull point, and the guy had on a bunch of like coats, like had a heavy coat on and stuff underneath it, so it didn't penetrate anything. It's more like gave him a bruise, but and it was an attempted murder weapon. But anyways, I digress. Um, so like I did a lot of prep work that day. Oddly enough, I expected my knee to be terrible, but it was actually looked a little better the next day. So I'm thinking I should be like exercising, like no matter how painful it is, like exercising this leg or doing something with this leg. Because the next day I expected to be laid up with a big swollen leg and stuff, and it's like it looks a little better. It hurt, but it's been hurting anyway. But I did a lot of prep work, like digging in closets, like moving stuff around in the living room. I was flipping the couch around, trying to get that plastic on top of it to make things go quicker, and then I had to like lower the couch back down, which the couch is very heavy because it's got the dual recliner, so it's got a bunch of metal undercarriage type stuff in it, and I had like heaters in there that I bought off. One heater that I bought off of Bootsy, one that I got off of I think my sister, that was totally useless. That was like a little electric space heaters, and the only electric heater that's worth a damn are the kind that are oil filled, because those other ones will eat the hell out of your electric bill, and they're dangerous to boot. So you get these radiator looking ones that are full of oil, and they heat up this oil inside them, and they literally cost nothing to run. It's amazing. So Um, that guy and my nephew carried the couch out. The guy does something very rude, which you don't do. You got to be careful when you're moving stuff with somebody. You kind of want to know the guy that you're moving the stuff with, that he's done the kind, that he knows how to like work with people and doesn't do anything without telling you, because you gotta say stuff. He just like, oh, this couch won't go through here like normal. We gotta flip it sideways, and he just like, he's a big guy, so he just like jostles it sideways and stuff without warning my nephew, which is uncool. My nephew adjusted, but like, if you're holding on to a metal undercarriage or something like that, and somebody does that, and say, you mishandle it or whatever, you just tell it. Whenever you're moving something heavy with somebody, you always just tell them everything you're going to do. You tell them if a fly lands on whatever it is you're moving. But he just was like, hopped it up in his hands and like caught it sideways, because they're both like large. 280, one guy's 280, the other guy's 220, and ripped. So, it didn't weigh all that much to either one of them, but you still have to be careful when you're moving stuff. I made a note of that. He's like, yeah, that wasn't too cool. I was like, yeah, that's how people get hurt. Is like, not by not communicating when you're moving something. Um, anyways, so I'm just making a long story longer, but got everything moved out of here except for oars. I have oars left over from when I had a rubber raft, and so they left oars, which is, I thought about that this morning. I was like, yeah, just in case the ceiling floods in here, I'll have oars. I won't have a boat. Maybe this mattress will float. Like, use an oar. I don't know. It was just funny to me that they threw everything out. Why would they leave the oars? I just kind of assumed that they'd throw these oars out. But they were black, and, it's hard color to see. And, I guess. But, anyways, that's when I had a rubber raft, and I was rafting around this one lake with my nephew, who I was a father figure type too. And it was one of the fun things that we did was mess around with this raft when I was in my 30s. And I found out about a raft is like, you paddle, 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 and then the wind kicks up and will blow you across the lake like you're nothing. I mean, you can't have anger with a raft, I don't think, with a rubber raft. But yeah, that sucked because the wind just blew it around like it was nothing. I'm used to being in a boat, so that was weird. Um, mm. So that day was eventful. There was like a bunch of shit went down. I gave the guy a name to the names to this place called Benderwoods and this other place called Amberwood. Both had wood in the title, so they were both single story things, because I don't want to move in. I'm not moving into a place with anybody over top of me. But I don't have the living room cleared out yet. But I gotta, I had to move the treadmill into the retarded closet with a door that moves in. This like gigantic, ridiculous, like 5 foot door that moves in and blocks the whole closet because it's designed stupid. I had him take that bike out, and I'm gonna take the bike apart and give him the electric bike parts. I gave him a good bicycle pump too. I asked him first what he had for a bicycle pump, because he didn't even notice there was a bicycle pump sitting like right beside him. So that's a $25 value. So I said, he got paid pretty good for what work was done. Um, well, you know, as far as the way I've been feeling, it's like the Friday I just laid around like a precautionary thing. Saturday I just laid around because I just laid around. So today's got to be different since today is a Sunday. I'm going to finish up clearing up the living room. I want to get those scooters out of here. Or at least one of those, the big blue scooter, I want to get out of here and at my brother's house. Um, and then like the whole living room will be cleared out. But I got like to disassemble a TV stand, like take the back off this TV stand thing on it. It's not very high, and it's useless to me with this TV anyway. And I'm just gonna like set the router box on the floor, and get rid of that, and then I got like bags of boxes. I got like cut up. I'm always cutting up cardboard and taping cardboard together because I'm always getting box. I've always got these extra boxes, and yeah, you know, I'm gonna do stuff today. I didn't do much yesterday, and knees pretty much the same, except for like I said, I was surprised the way it reacted to me abusing it, uh, like doing all that prep work for when those folks got here, and throw that stuff out. I'm all yeah, I'm not really not in good brain. Um, I took four Neurontin yesterday for my leg at the same time because they're the smallest dose possible. They're the 100. That's what my pill bottle looks like now. They're the 100 milligram capsules. That's the lowest dose they prescribe is 100. You can take up to like 2,000 milligrams of it at a time. So 400 milligrams. That's like what I top out at. Um, yeah, I'm ahead on my volume like by 3, 4, 5 days. And I know by now, like the people that I'm talking to already know this, but stockpile, 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 never trust doctors. Maybe I'll just make that the title in here. Stockpile and never trust doctors. And then people will watch and they're like, why is this guy rambling about people lifting couches and stuff? But yeah, but you got to stockpile. You can't trust doctors. Um, yeah, sometimes you can't do it, but you have to do it at all costs, really. That way, at least you're controlling your own suffering. You're like, yeah, I'm suffering by not taking my normal dose, but I'm the guy in control. Because if your doctor switches your medication, I'm talking about somebody specifically I don't want to name, even though they wrote stuff under the video. They switch your medication randomly, or they drop your dose, like was done to me a couple of times. Um, what do you do then? Well, you suffer, but you're suffering at somebody else's hands instead of at your own hands. So, it's better to have the pills there and not take them than to not have the pills as an option. So, yeah, that is like my first advice to anybody that's on benzos is stockpile, have extra. And sometimes, you'll have appointments to go to, or your nerves will be shot, and you'll have to, use more pills than you're supposed to, or tap into your stockpile. That happens sometimes, but yeah, you gotta stockpile at all costs. I think I said that word enough now. My stomach is suddenly sour, which means I should put some more coffee in it to make it more sour. I think I told you anyway that I probably didn't. I haven't talked on here for a while, but as far as the ceiling is concerned, August 3rd. So August 3rd, dude's gonna replace the bathtub upstairs, and he's gonna have to go through my ceiling. Uh, if I remember correctly, he texted me and said that most of the work will be upstairs. Why would I believe the guy about anything? It's my landlord we're talking about. Um, but he said like it'll be a minimal what they'll have to do from below, meaning whatever they'll have to do through my ceiling. Um, the guy at Coleman asked me if I wanted to be on SMHA, Stark Metropolitan Housing Authority, and I'm like, just thought it was a weird question because if you're on Stark Metropolitan Housing Authority, your house has to be up to code, which will cause grief with my landlord and me both, because you got people coming in here and there can't be any roaches, there can't be any bed bugs, everything has to be up to code. So it will cause my landlord grief, it will cause me aggravation. I'm like, well, I told the guy, I wrote the guy back. I'm like, look, I pay $425 plus electric to live here. I was like, I really don't want to rock that boat. It's like I have enough money I can throw $100 my nephew's way just for a couple hours work carrying stuff and moving stuff around. So, um, yeah, I don't know. My brother was quiet, but I talked to my brother and mentioned that, and he got a little quiet, but he was probably thinking, man, I could have used that money. But nobody takes the bed bug thing seriously, which just shows you that they're all touched. But uh, my brother-in-law's house probably still has bed bugs, but like that's how I got bed bugs. I didn't know this video was going to be about bed bugs until there's a garbage bag behind me, so I had to this is not garbage. This is that part's a headphone. This is the heel of a shoe. That's the heel of another shoe. You know, it's not garbage. It's just I did dig out. I found these headphones, which these little German. God bless the Germans and their engineering abilities. But these little tiny headphones that are called Sprocked. I was looking for them for a long time, and I found them. It's like they're amazing little headphones. I got them. It's cool. It's like I got them for nothing. Like ridiculous amount of money, and they're like high quality. They even got like the volume switch on the cord and stuff, so you can really hurt your ears if you want to. But I didn't know this video was going to be about bed bugs. But forget the headphones I was talking about. Like nobody takes the bed bug thing seriously because somehow I'm like the most isolated one in the family, but somehow I got bed bugs. And I can't trust the word of my landlord or my exterminator, but I had them the worst, which probably means that I had them first. And I got them after my brother came here, and my brother-in-law, he was riding in my brother's car going to my brother-in-law's. My brother was riding in my brother-in-law's car, and my brother-in-law, who's that's the house with bed bugs, was sitting on my couch for like a long time. And then a couple weeks later, I noticed I got bed bugs. It's too big of a coincidence. It's like a really point A to point B short line to draw. It's much more likely. If you'll remember correctly, at the time there was like a clown car living above me too, and they left at the same time. So it is possible that one of those people brought bed bugs that were crashed up there, because there was any 8 was the number I heard, but there was anywhere between 6 and 8 people living upstairs, including kids. So there's 2 kids living up there too, so they could have. And one of them was referred to as a homeless person when I used to talk to Stampy. Um, Said she didn't. So I don't know if that means they're more likely. So basically, what I'm saying is the bed bugs could have came from upstairs. I don't know, but that's why my brother didn't get the job, because I gave the job to the other guy. So my brother will work cheaper and harder because yeah. When I paid him money to clean my house, he was like, I don't feel like I did enough. And then my house really need cleaned like it does now, and he's like, I don't feel like I did enough to earn the money. And he wanted to clean more stuff, and then he's like, I can't do no more. I'm tired. He's like that. That's all I got in me today. Um, and of course, he didn't have any water, so he took a long, luxurious shower here. So I think the situation now is he doesn't have any hot water. He just has water. So I was talking to him that one night, few nights ago, and He was talking about washing clothes out in the bucket and stuff like that. And if you'll remember correctly, I wanted to go over there and make sure he had hot water and just to get out of here because I was going mental. Living here and summer was approaching, and I was like, I couldn't find a place that where I didn't have people living above me, or I didn't have to live on the second floor and walk up and down steps. And I thought that I could spend the summer there and reconnect with my family and resolve family issues. Such a fool. And uh, it's actually probably better this way because I can bank. Sometimes your best friends can be those little green old white men, those little pictures. Um, so I can bank money here. And, Benjamin Franklin is a very good friend of mine. Uh, did you know that Benjamin Franklin was like really loose morally and was like, they called him like a libertarian, I think. They had a word for it back then that basically meant somebody that played it fast and loose with the ladies. It sounded like libertarian, which I know is a political affiliation of some kind. But anyways, he was a playboy, Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, I'm talking about the guy with the glasses and the bald head and shit, man. He was freewheeling, aristocrat playing it loose and fancy with the ladies and whatnot. While he was writing Poor Richard's Almanac, a penny saved is a penny earned, and flying kites and storms and whatever the hell else he was supposedly did. Um, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I've not been. That was a good day, like I said. That was last Thursday. That was a good day, but I haven't been particularly productive. I just haven't felt like moving around. My leg hurts. It's pretty damn simple. It's like I was thinking about it. It's like, yeah, my leg needs exercise, but it's like your foot might need exercise, but if you got a splinter in your foot, you want to take the splinter out before you you do the exercise part. And that's how it is with my knee. My knee has got something in it that is a foreign object that needs removed, called a Baker's cyst. I need to get that taken care of. It's not swollen like it is just because it's swollen like it is. I've already been diagnosed with that, so I gotta like whether I'm emotionally together or not. I gotta like call that Omni Orthopedics place and start moving down that road before I get like too wacky and too depressed. Because I'm like, that's bad. Like you don't want to get up and move around because your leg hurts, and moving around apparently is actually good for my leg. It just hurts like all hell, holy hell. Um, Another expression. My folks had wonderful expressions like "holy hell." It's like, you know, uh, Billy be damned. And my dad had all these weird, screwy expressions, and my mom did too. Uh, like I said, she used to say things like, "You're as cute as a fart in a mitten." And I'm like, to this day, I have no idea what that means. And I know it was a term of affection, but I don't know how. I don't even know. I don't know what to make of that. Cute as a fart in a mitten. Why can't you say cute as a bug's ear? That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, one of them's more interesting. I think everybody's. Y'all, I've heard that expression, right? Cute as a bug's ear. And I think that's kind of like a insult, actually, since bugs don't actually have ears. I've never seen a bug with ears, and I never hope I do, because it will mean like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, or like the old one where the guy's in the spider web crying for help with a spider head and a fly body. So I don't ever want to see a bug with ears. And all the bugs that I've seen with ears in the movies weren't cute at all. So, um, Yeah, I was really angry. Baseball season started up again. And I was angry over two things. It's like I can get uh, Major League Baseball channel that I paid for on my TV, but I can't figure out how to get it to not spoiler games for me. So it spoilered the game for me. So I already knew the score was 3-2 and that the Indians were going to lose. But I watched the game anyway, and I was like, this would be a really good game if I didn't know the score to it already. Then I was messing around with it, like I was like blocking my hand just in case I saw 3-2 wrong, because I looked away right away. But I was just like, okay, I'm pretty sure the score was 3-2, and I was pretty sure what the score was, but I could have been wrong. Been wrong before. It happens. But I was like holding my hand up, block, like trying to like maneuver through the menu to try to like figure out how to get it. And the weird part, it was like hidden spoilers on. I'm like, well, you just spoiled me and you're telling me you're hiding the spoilers from me. So that doesn't make any sense. Um, but I got my little like card stands and stuff, so I'm getting a big shipment of cards on Monday. I can start doing that. I still got like $2,000, even though like I spent a ridiculous amount of money, and I got over $2,000 coming in. Um, on the third, I'm counting the forthcoming stimulus check. If I don't get the stimulus check, I've still got around $1,250 coming in, and then like I'll start selling shit. Like a lot of, I'll make money. Um, but I wanted these little card stands. I noticed like they work really cool. You don't have to be an expert photographer, which I am not, especially with a phone. They have these little stands, and you can tilt them certain ways, and they have refractor cards, and you can get the light to hit them just right so they look all nice and stuff. And I've taken like the last couple of months studying um, how people do on eBay and watching auctions and stuff. Because I've been out of the game a long time. Apparently, the postal rates are really high nowadays. Because I was looking at the packages I get, I'm like, holy shit! It costs $4.20 to ship like two cards. One of them was in a heavy lucite case. I'm like, I used to do things like, you know, if something's in a lucite case, you take a screwdriver, you take it out of the heavy ass lucite case and throw it in the garbage, and you put it in a little top loader that weighs much less. I don't know if that's back when I had like no money, so that was cool. When I could do it all from home because they had like you can't do it anymore, but you could buy these. I should make this gesture, but you could buy these like huge rolls of like 2 penny stamps, and then you buy like a bunch of like regular stamps, and I had like a little scale, and you just look it up on the computer and find out how much postage it is, put the appropriate amount of stamps on there, and don't have to go to the post office. Just go drop it in a government mailbox. You drop anything in a government mailbox that doesn't weigh over a certain amount. I think it's 2 pounds. Uh, and cards do not weigh 2 pounds. And so I could just do it all from home. It was easy. But now I got those aid workers, so I have to do like a test run. I want to like throw everything out there at once, but I'm going to do a test run to see exactly how much the postage is going to cost me, and to see if how the aid worker does and stuff. The best way to sell cards is to put a bunch of them out there at once, because, and then you write, like, when they're looking at the description of whatever they're looking at, you write down, like, all the different auctions and all the names. You know, I have other auctions running, including blah, 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 this name, that name, Lawrence Taylor, Jerry Rice, whatever. And then they read that and they're like, aha. And then they look at your other stuff and it generates interest. And I know how to do this. I mean, just haven't done it since the 2000s. Um, Plus, I got a lot of good product to sell, so I just got to get it all organized, take pictures of it, and I don't have a lot of patience for it, but I don't have a lot of choice because I sunk like $2,000 in cards last year for the Browns, and it did not go well. But Nick Chubb had a monster year, and that's where most of my money was sunk anyway. He should have won the rushing title, but another guy beat him out by like 50 yards because the other team rested all their starters basically because they already had made the playoffs, and so they rested their starters and just let this guy run all over him for like 211 yards, or he would have won the rushing title. But he's set up perfectly to have a monster year this year, unless something, it's football. So, and I used to refer to me investing in cards like buying voodoo dolls. If I like bought a card of a guy, he's sure to get hurt. It's like putting a pin in a voodoo doll if I buy a card of him, because I would buy cards of guys and they would get hurt all the time. And I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with these cards now? So that's why I got like boxes and boxes of unsold material. Some of it high quality stuff. That's, I'm sure, boring. Let's hear about the blood and gut stuff and the weird family turmoil and the other unpleasant, the fun, unpleasant stuff. But that's just, it's kind of like drudgery. And then you have to deal with people. Like this one guy only sent me 2 cards out of the 3 card lot that he sent me, and I like wrote him a couple messages. He never wrote me back, and like I looked at other people, and sometimes people like drop off the table emotionally, and like they do fine, and then they just like screw everybody. They're like screw everybody and everything, so they like rip a bunch of people off, and they get like 8 straight negative feedbacks in a row. So this guy sent me 2 cards. I wrote him a message where I was appealing to his sense of reason, and I'm like, look, man, just put it in an envelope and put a stamp on the 3rd card that you didn't send me. It's not worth it. You won't be able to sell anything if your feedback drops down below 99%. It's going to make you look suspect, and you won't be able to sell anything. It's not worth it, And I got through to the guy. The problem was he waited too long. I gave him a negative feedback anyway, and then I got the 3rd card in the mail and felt bad. But sure enough, after a couple of weeks, he completed the deal. But he only sent me 2 cards out of a 3 card lot for some reason. And then like I spoke to him and appealed to his sense of reason, and then he mailed me the 3rd card. It's like whatever. Uh, but I did feel bad because I was like, how do you? I don't know. I don't think you can once you leave a negative. I think it's just there. And he left me a positive, of course. They used to have checks and balances on eBay where like now only the buyer can leave a negative feedback. The seller can't leave a negative feedback on the buyer. He has to contact. I'm sure I'm going to learn some new things. I also got mad. The other thing, see, call back. The other thing I got mad about the baseball was they have a new rule in baseball. If it goes into extra innings, you get a free guy on second base. I was watching that, and it was an extra inning game. The game I was spoiled on. I got really fucking pissed off because I don't like when they change things in sports. I don't like it. It makes me angry because it ruins the historical context of the game. It's like people have all this fun conversation comparing players from different eras, and it's like you change the rules, you change the game. It means you can't compare Joe Montana to Tom Brady because Tom Brady, if he played in Joe Montana's era, would have got destroyed. Joe Montana got destroyed. He got like broken ribs, a broken hand, and a concussion all in the same damn play. So, you can't compare eras. And prime example of that is Joe Montana has a lower passer rating than Tony Romo, which is the better quarterback, I wonder. So, they changed the rules. And as Jack Lambert said, they put dresses on the quarterbacks. He was like, why don't you just put dresses on them? Because they got mad that they put in a new um, in the grass rule while he was playing to protect the quarterback. So that quote will go down in history. Why don't you just put dresses on them? Anyways, yeah, my brain's not good. Nothing, nothing new about that except for like a more fragmented than usual. Um, I'm really not getting outside in the sunshine, even though the weather has mellowed out quite a bit. There's really no place. There's no sunshine except for out in the front, which means I have to deal with people, and I don't like people. So it's not. I'm not like an agoraphobic where I'm afraid to leave the house. I just don't like people. I just don't like dealing with. I'm not a people guy. I don't want to be friendly. I just want to be left alone. I just want to be left alone. That's why I walk early in the morning. It's just a good time for me to walk. There's less traffic, but mainly I don't have to run into any people and I don't have to deal with people. So the weird part is I can deal with people. I actually can be personable, use my gift of gab or whatever to get by. It's not that big a deal. I just don't like it. Um, that's probably why I have so many views on here. Is like uh, don't I don't have a huge fondness for the human race. Um, in general, present company accepted, of course. I love all you guys. Isn't that what people do on YouTube? I hate on YouTube when people do videos and they're like, click the subscribe button like right off the bat, or like, remember to leave a like. It's like, you can leave a hate. I don't care. You can not subscribe. I don't care. You can turn me off right now for talking about this shit. I don't care. Bottom line is, I don't care. Um, doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. I would be laying in a bed shirtless if I gave a damn. Talking on here to however many people I am talking about. I wouldn't talk about the things I do talk about. I only hold back because for two reasons: out of politeness for other people and general decorum. I don't tell everything on here for that reason. Um, I've said many things on here that uh, most people would not, I suppose. I don't care about looking bad or being stupid or being a moron or poking a bucket of black water out of the ceiling or showing my ceiling and having people wonder like about like my sanity or whatever. I don't care about any of it. But I don't know if that's part of my misanthropy. Don't know. Like I said, I don't care. Um, I'm not in like the old man stage. I don't care. I just don't care because I'm in a lot of pain, and I just kind of always been like that to a degree. Um, but once you get to a certain age, you get in that don't care bathrobe, open the bathrobe, open the door in the bathrobe type of thing. But anyways, I haven't really put my teeth in. I've been, I can feel like an edge or something on the bottom of this side of this gum, and it's like should do that. Not eat with them, but just wear them. But I haven't even bothered with them. You know, I was very depressed over that, like I said, because I put the uppers in. The uppers were fairly comfortable until I tried to eat with them, and then they were like torture devices. So, you know, why wear them for cosmetic reasons? And, but I should wear them to see if I can like develop calluses. You know, like when you work, at first you get the blisters and it's painful and stuff when you're using a shovel, an axe, or a hoe. You get the calluses and it doesn't hurt as much. Well, maybe I need to do the same thing and toughen up my gums. Just do it slowly. But I haven't bothered with that. I bought a new pair of clippers. And I clippered my beard off a little bit, but I didn't shave. But I bought a new pair of hair clippers because the cheapo pair of hair clippers just don't cut it. So I spent, like I said, I've been spending a lot of money, but I got a lot of money to spend, and I'll recoup a lot once I start selling. I kind of want to wait until the brown season happens because the browns naturally everyone assumes that they're gonna suck. there's a lot of hype around them building right now, you know, and they're going to be in the toughest division in football because you got the Steelers, you got the Ravens, you got the Bengals. The Bengals got the #1 draft pick. They won a couple games last year. They got a good running back. Uh, you know, so but I still want to wait and see because they're after the disaster of last year. I want to wait and see if they have a successful year. I will make a lot of money. I can make a lot of money now just off of the hype, like I could have done last year. But if all they have to do is like perform up to expectations, but to kind of erase the idea that they're the Browns, you know, they're the bad news bears of football. Um, anyways, so I just had the one day where I did a bunch of stuff and then did a bunch of nothing. And you know, being in this kind of pain, it doesn't put you in a good frame of mind as far as life in general. And I don't like I don't like laying around watching TV, um, or trying to find a movie that doesn't suck. That's really hard to watch. And yeah, it's just I don't even like to think about it. You know that I've had this bad knee for like God knows how long now, 5, 6 years. Then I've tried to get something done about it and haven't been able to get something done about it. But yeah, I have to talk myself into doing that. Um, Even though I don't want to, because you know, like I said, it's my last orthopedist because I've already tried. I've already gone to all the other ones and they've done nothing for me, literally nothing, but put me through tests and MRIs, and they did that electric test. I'm remembering now where they like put needles to stimulate muscles. They put like these needles in your legs and to see how much of my problem was CRPS. When I guess that those at that particular time they believed I had CRPS or whatever, but I remember the needles test because I remember they put some in my left leg and was making my left foot move, and I'm like, oh, good shit. I didn't know that my leg even. You know, I was kind of worried because they were sticking needles in my calf and making my left. And I got no left calf to really put needles in because my left leg is just a stick. You know, I look like Ahab leg. I got Ahab leg, and my right leg is the one that used to be my strong leg, but that's the one with the Baker's cyst. That's now a hot dog leg. So I got a Ahab leg and a hot dog leg. So it's just all swollen and hurts like a bitch. It hurts all the way down the leg into the foot. Some days it's like just hurting in the knee area right now, but some days it's like whatever nerves are getting pressed on, they go all the way down into my foot. And it feels like actually I checked my foot a couple of times because I thought I stepped on a piece of glass or something. So, yeah, I just don't want. It's just it's a lot of bother. You know, no, I'm sure you don't like making appointments and you don't like seeing doctors anyway, but it's just a lot of bother. And if you don't get something done, it's highly aggravating. Um, if you go in there and they're like, can't help you, and I've had that experience too many times, last orthopedist that my insurance will cover in the area, so that will mean that I will have to go through even more shit to try to figure out how to get something done about my leg or live with this thing permanently. This succubus knee draining the life force out of my knee and uh, out of my life. You know, that's why like walking is a huge deal when you live alone, and your mobility is such a big deal. And why like that broke me and made me cry after 25 years. 29 years I didn't cry in front of my sister, but 25 years since the last time I cried, period. But that made me cry when I come to the realization, and benzos do make you more emotionally raw, but I come to the realization, like, yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to walk right again. I mean, I'm going to places with a walker just for safety's sake. And it hurts to walk, and it's like hurts all the time, which will make you emotionally raw, being in pain all the time. And yeah, that's why my last video was Doom and Gloom was the title. But I'm a relatively buoyant soul, and I don't take things for granted, like the fact that I can wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and stay up for an hour and then sleep in. And that I got extra money to make more money with. It's pretty cool now that I got like a lot of extra money. I can take some money to make money, brother. Back in the day, I remember like just dreaming of doing what I'm doing now, or I'm able to do now, like just plunk down $175 and on this one auction. And I was like figuring out, like, in my head, like, I can sell this for this, I can sell this for this, I can sell this for this, and you get you get a wider profit margin that way, instead of like the stuff that I used to do. Like I said, I used to take, and to save 50 cents on postage, take things out of top loaders and sandwich cards together between two top loaders and all this other stuff I used to do, because I've always been poor. I don't consider myself poor. I'm still below the poverty level, but you know how Greek mythology works, where you have Hades, and underneath Hades you have Tartarus. Well, poverty level, I was at Tartarus level, poverty level. Back in the day, man, I was below hell. I had nothing, man. I was like 422 to live on. $422 to live on, man. And $28 in food stamps. I had nothing, man. And that's why I lived in a place that was, I was paying, I started out paying $225 in rent. I lived there for like 15 years. And they only raised the rent because they were my relations. They only raised the rent to from 225 to 255, so they only raised it $30 in 15 years. But I lived in this shitty, nasty, scary end of town next to Timken Steel factory in the city. I didn't care because I was healthy. I didn't give a shit. I was healthy. I was away from my. I was out of my dad's house. I had my own space. You know. Again, Emily Dickinson, the poet, said, "I'd rather have a pumpkin to sit on and have it all to myself than be crowded on a velvet cushion." And it's like, I got my own space. I grew up in a house that only had 3 bedrooms in it. So you got your mom and your dad living in one bedroom, and then they would divide the 2 bedrooms between the boys and the girls. So you had 2 bedrooms for 7 children. They just like the boys' room and the girls' room. They just jammed everybody in a room because they bought. And my mom had like God knows how many miscarriages, so she was like pregnant like all the time. I don't know if it was because she was Catholic and the Catholic Church don't believe in rubbers. I don't know if they're still like that. They used to be back in the day. I don't know what the deal was, but my folks never used any birth control. But she had a lot of miscarriages. I know that. I don't remember how many, but I was in the younger set of children. So there was 2 children younger than me, and there was like 4 children older than me. So I was kind of like the middle child. Um, I was actually the child that bridged the gap between younger children and the older children. There was a gap in there there was a couple of miscarriages before I come along and decided to live like a fool. So, I don't know what the overall point of that was. So, I did pretty good though. Pretty cohesive so far. A cohesive ramble. with all these digressions and stuff, I still kept the steady. I didn't know the theme would be so bed bug related, but I noticed there was a garbage bag behind me. I didn't want you to think that there was like body parts in a bag or something behind me on the bed there. You know, like my landlord's limbs or something. I guess I've been watching a lot of horror movies. But there's actually just shoes. All I can feel in that through that bag is shoes and a headphone set. So, um, stuff I have to do today and will make myself do include getting rid of a whole bunch of cardboard boxes and taping them together, which actually is a pain. Anything's a pain in the ass on this leg, but it's actually a pain in the ass. Um, Walking's a pain in the ass. Taking apart this electric bicycle and taking all the electric parts off of the bicycle, and at some point the bicycle will end up outside in the garbage. Um, Disassembling the TV stand, like I said, and getting rid of that, and like clearing as much space as possible, and not throw out my dresser. I found a bunch of blinds in the closet, so I can replace my blinds, which are this one here over here is actually a weird color of off-white because of all the smoking I used to do in here back in my M&M days with the marijuana and the other activity. And I'm much too polite to mention. But yeah, once you I figured that out, like, oh, yeah, okay, drugs enhance like sexual pleasure. Okay, marijuana seems to be pretty good for this. Then they started making like even better marijuana. Like, you didn't really have to do any work. You know, it's like it just made everything go smoother, and then it made it more pleasurable, and your mind drifts less. You're not. I'm not going to be too crude, but yeah, you're not going to start thinking about your taxes in the middle of that certain activity. Mm. So I have blinds. I have other things like if I can get my nephew over here, but he doesn't want to like stay for the whole day, so it has to be like on his girlfriend's day off. And maybe I'll talk to him and I can talk him into like staying for the whole day. But then my bathroom is a horror. He was like, I gotta wash my hands. He said after he was done moving stuff, and I said, just wash them in the kitchen. You don't want to go near the bathroom because the bathroom's all funky. Because even before COVID hit, uh, I wouldn't let the aid workers like clean the bathroom because I know it's their job, but I felt like they didn't get paid enough. They should get paid extra, and a lot of them won't take tips because if I give them tips and they accept the tips, and I just start complaining about them, like, well, they're taking my money, or I start complaining about them, they could lose their jobs. But I had one um, aid worker that I had for a while that realized that that was what they call down, or what they used to call down, you know, with street lingo for like it means like you're real or whatever. I don't know how to explain it. But anyways, I would just like I said, I would just like take a fold of 10 up and hide it underneath my walker and say there's something wrong with the leg in my walker, and then she'd move it around and find a $10 bill, and she'd like hold it up and say thanks. And I'd be like, I think you're missing the whole point here about us being sneaky here, because your sneakiness doesn't work if you hold up the bill and thank me for it. Just put it in your pocket like it's a piece of garbage. And one time I like folded up a 5 and dropped it outside the window, and then that's when the black hole pocket maniac lived upstairs, and then I had to go like out there and retrieve it because he woke up earlier than I expected, and he went out on the porch, and I had to hide it and I hit it like in a hole in the cement on the porch, and I had to hide it from him. I had to sit there and smoke. I sat there, and this was last summer. I sat there and smoked with him, and I waited for him to leave, and then got the dollar bill or the $5 bill, and hid it in another place. And then she came, and then waited for him to leave, and when she got back, like pointed at it, because anything I've ever given that guy, it doesn't come back. He still has poker chips that I paid him for because we were playing with poker chips, and I cashed in his poker chip, and he never gave me the poker chips back, you know, because I was like, here, this will cover the money that I owe you in poker and those cans, the aluminum can story where he got mad at me for giving him money because he liked the cans scattered all around back there because he liked to look out there. I kind of think of it like, a sort of like self-chastisement for being an alcoholic. Like, this is how much I drink. I'm a horrible, bad person. So I could look out the window and look at all these cans scattered outside on the side of the house where I feed my cats. And one day, like I said, I seen a guy. These are old stories, and if you follow me, you probably already heard that before. But seen this guy scrounging cans, and I'm like, hey man, there's a bunch of cans back there. So I thought, oh, I can do that guy a favor. He can get a bunch of cans, and I can do the pocket maniac a favor and give him money for all these cans, and like give him too much money, like more than the cans are worth. So, and everybody makes out on the deal. I get rid of the cans. The guy that's scrounging gets a bunch of free cans, and this guy gets money that lives in the building with me. But the maniac that lives in the building with me offered to punch me in the face for giving him money, which was more money than the cans were actually worth. So, I don't deal with him no more. I don't even know if he lives here anymore, frankly. I don't know. When they come, when the landlord comes in here, I'll talk to him about it because he's going to have to be in here to let the plumber in here. So, but I don't, you know what? I don't even want to go into it, but there's other reasons besides my personal distaste and utter hatred for my landlord that I don't talk to him. I'm not real fond of talking to liars and manipulative, sociopathic people, and also he likes to keep everything separate, as he put it. So in other words, he won't answer questions directly or accurately about other people living in the building, even to the point where like he's keeping the fact that one person has roaches. Like I got roaches from the lady upstairs. He knew that the lady upstairs had roaches, but he did not tell me about them. So whatever they did up there, sprayed, fumigated, or whatever, drove the roaches into my apartment. So it was like a nice surprise one day and I still got them, but they're not bad. Uh, but right now, I should probably like. This is getting to the point where I should break out the paste that wipes them out. Where they, that deal where the one roach. I'm talking a lot about pests. The one roach eats the paste, it goes back to the nest and dies, and then roaches cannibalize a poison roach and it kills wherever they're nested up. The whole idea is it kills the nest, and it seems to work, but I seen they come back after a few weeks. There'll be like no roaches for 3 weeks, then I'll see one. So who knows? I don't know what's going on in this building. I kind of like checked out as far as living in this building, and because I thought I was going to move so many times. But like I said, I came to the realization that 425 plus electric, I'm not going to get a better deal. Yeah, I'm stuck in a room, but moving is a pain in the ass. I'm not going to move out of here until I get at least in a place where I'm on the first floor and there's nobody above me. There's got to be a way to do that. In the meantime, I'm already pretty wacky, but I'll do the best to keep my sanity. And I can save a lot of money living here. Um, you know, by October, I'll have 10 grand saved up, guaranteed. And that'll mean like in a year on 12, on $1,248 a month, I will have saved up $10,000 because I started from less than zero. I started like in September of last year. I was borrowing money to keep from being overdrawn. And I decided like I had to get out of here. And I started saving money, and I was like, saving money stuff seems to go pretty well. And plus, I got the card business thing, and I'm used to be pretty good at that. I don't know. I've been out of the game. I'm probably going to take some lumps for a while. That's why I should, you know, dip my toe in the pool and find out about shipping and how much eBay takes now and how much PayPal takes. 'Cause that's the thing about you have to. If you buy a card for $15 and you sell it for $20, you're going to lose money. So you have to, you know, because people are going to be that $5 little margin in there. People are going to be taking chunks out of it. eBay, PayPal, postage. You have to figure all that stuff out. Now, the postal rates have apparently changed, and I got to figure all that stuff out. I haven't done this for many years, but I just have like a lot of high dollar stuff, and yeah, so let's hang out here. You know, I'm not going to be able to walk no matter where I live, no matter where I go. I'm going there. There I will be. Can't hide from yourself, and the legs got to be dealt with. I can do that here. I have a weird situation going on with the EBT card where, like, they didn't give me any EBT food benefits on my card at all this month. I have no idea why. They were giving me $194 a month. They gave me none. They said that they credited $16 to my card, but it did not appear on my card because you go through a menu and you push the three button. It says it's supposed to tell you when your funds will be available, and you know, it said it was loaded onto my card, but the number 5715 because I was checking all the time was burned in my brain. I'm like, how can I get $16 added and still have the exact same amount? I don't know if they're waiting for this bill, stimulus bill or whatever they call it, to pass in Congress, but it's getting pretty late in the month. I believe it's the 26th, and so yeah, the additional $178 that I've been getting, that I've been trying to turn into cash, didn't, yeah, it didn't show up this month. So yeah, uh, today's the day I usually call my cousin in Florida, so I don't know. My leg's starting to fucking hurt. I mean, it was hurting, but I mean, it's starting to really talk to me now and say unpleasant things and use foul language and shit. Uh, but yeah, I gotta get that dealt with. I gotta get some. It seems like it likes physical activity as far as. I mean, it'll hurt more and I'll be more unsteady on my feet, but it'll actually be less swollen. And I found out I got like a ridiculously weird bruise on like the inside of my knee. I don't know what the hell it was at first on my left leg. I'm like, how the hell did I do that? I don't know. But see, I'm on blood thinners because of my heart, so you bruise easier. Um, yeah, I think I mentioned that the I don't want to use the guy's name, but the guy who jostled the couch from Coleman was like, "You want me to hook you up with a primary caregiver? He's going to help me with that." But he's very erratic, you know, about, like I said, this appointment on Thursday. Um, I told him, like, just pick a day. He was like, wanting to make an appointment. I was like, just pick a day. And it took him so long to pick that day that I had not been using that phone. And Actually, Wednesday, I picked up the phone. I was like, I better check the messages on this phone just in case my landlord had something to say because he uses that phone. Everybody else knew that I was using the other number. I had forgotten about the guy from Coleman, and he was like, "Is a week after I said my whole schedule's open, just make an appointment at any time." He was like, "How about Thursday, 4 to 5?" And the day before, I was like, "Okay." Then Thursday morning, I asked him, coming or not. I called him on the phone, got left a message, and then texted him. So he's very erratic as far as like remembering things and doing things. So um, yeah, I'll have to keep in touch with him. I gave him. He was very pleased with it for whatever reason. But I used to have a video that was called "The Stickers Are Worth More Than the Guitar" because I paid $20 for this tiny little acoustic guitar, not a ukulele. It actually had 6 strings on it, but I paid like $25 for stickers to put on it because they have a guitar called a Schecter Triple X, which I may post a link to just for the hell of it. Why anybody would be interested, I don't know. Just imagine a guitar with little silhouettes in pearl inlay on a black background of strippers in various stripper poses. Instead of the dots on you see on guitars as fret markers, there's strippers as fret markers on this cheapo guitar. There's a little miniature guitar, and then there's a doll symbol with a dragon popping out of it on the headstock of the guitar, and then there's a faux um, abalone inlay truss rod cover. That's like it's just an ornamental type of thing on it. So I put all this fancy shit on this crappy guitar. But he was kept commenting on the guitar, and I'm like, I was literally thinking about throwing it out because it's good for absolutely nothing. And it's just sort of ornamental, and I'm just moving it around all the time. And I gave it to him, so he liked that real well. He's like, "Oh," he's like, "Seriously?" He's like, "Yeah, just take it. I don't care." I didn't mention the fact that I was thinking about throwing it out anyway. Yeah, I keep in contact with the dude and as much as possible because he is willing to help. I mean, he moved the couch for me. That's not part of his job description. It's just he's erratic, you know, and his mind seems to be going like a million miles a minute. So it's like hard to talk to. Uh, or maybe it's like a young person thing, or maybe he's hopped up on caffeine. I don't know. Maybe I'm just and don't realize it. I don't know. Uh, you try hopping on here and just winging it. It's not easy. Um, I guess that's about it as far as like things going on. The heat is mellowed out, but it's starting to pick up a little bit more. But thank God for that, because like I said, we had massive heat wave here, all the way from the tail end of June, all the way through to this part of July. It's just been crazy hot. It's been easier on my air conditioner, which you can hear on fan in the background. The last few days, it's been easier on my air conditioner, which is easier on my electric bill. And yeah, it'd be nice if summer meant something to me, because summer means something to people. When you live close to the Canadian border, because of the winters can be so harsh. But summer don't mean nothing to me anymore because I don't go outside. I don't fish anymore. My leg is all fucked up and I can't walk right. So what's don't make no difference. I'm stuck in the house. I mean, I'm not trying to boo hoo hoo. That's just the facts. Uh, so the summer's already like half over here. We can get cold weather in September. Just basically think of us as Canadians. When you live this far north in Ohio, um, so it can be cold in September. I've frozen my ass off in May fishing for you people that are in the southern part of the United States, or if I have any across the pond listeners, which is unlikely. Um, yeah, that live in warmer climates. I mean, I'm talking like shuddering, teeth chattering cold in May. The latest I've seen snow is June 3rd. I don't think that'll ever happen again. It doesn't really snow in June. But back when I was younger, there would be mounds of snow that were still melting in June. So summer used to mean something around here. It's like, oh, it's spring. The weather has changed completely from when I was younger. See, we used to have like set seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. And you could feel the transition. There was a transition period. And like, I don't know what, I'm starting to believe in the climate change the thing, because like we don't have springs anymore. We just jump right into the hot weather, or we just jump right into the cold weather. We don't have falls anymore. It's just like it's the weather is way more erratic. And one thing's for sure, and that's every person in my age bracket that I talk to can confirm this. It's like snow used to hit and stay, and there'd be snow on the ground for months, sometimes at a time. A month at a time was nothing. Now, if the snow stays on the ground for 2 weeks, it's a shock. Snow don't stick around. The winters are way easier than they used to be. So I'm not a conspiracy guy at all. I don't sit there and wonder about the two towers or JFK. I believe that people landed on the moon. I don't think about fake moon landings. I don't even think about this shit. I don't. I'm not really interested in the Epstein's story about that he was the Epstein thing. Like they're calling it a suicide. It's probably not a suicide. I don't even care. But climate change. I know that the weather has changed from when I was young. That's all I can tell you. Now, another way to look at that is like these things go in cycle and it'll switch back to normal. That it goes in cycles. That's one theory that's out there. But the other conspiracy thing that I'm starting to believe in is the inflation of the COVID numbers and the exaggeration of the COVID crisis as part of the political scenario. I'm starting to believe in that because, um, like I said, I talked to a doctor and I did not prompt her, and she said they are giving extra money for diagnosing COVID. And I mean, I take it to that level. She was using words like, um, and we're incentivized, which is difficult for me to say. Not because it hurts my heart that they're incentivized. It's a difficult word for me to pronounce. And I'm like, you mean to tell me they give you more money for diagnosing COVID? And she's like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I like to break everything down in the simplest terms. And she, I'm like in shock. I don't even have to ask the next question. She like predicted what I would ask. She's like, they've never done that for any other disease. You do not get extra money for diagnosing some unusual or rare disease with somebody. It's never been done before. I'm like how is? I didn't really even get into it that far, but I was thinking like, okay, where's this coming from? How does the medical hierarchy work? How could this be involved? How could there be political involvement in the medical industry? Because it is an industry. Um, where would it come from? Where would the orders come from to tell people like, you got to get more money if you find cases of COVID so we can hike the numbers up? And I had already looked at pie graphs and stuff because you know you can only be so shifty about things. And I realized like 49% of the deaths, this was a while ago now, the numbers I'm sure have changed, but 49% of the COVID deaths were people that were over 80, you know. And I was like, okay, they could get people that I know that are over 80 are real frail. And So that was my first clue that maybe COVID isn't like uh, all that serious a thing to catch. It just is very communicable, and it's only serious to catch if you're very old, weak, sick, infirm, or have heart trouble. Which I'm not quite old yet, technically. I just got a lot of miles on me. It actually hurts, but I will, I think, put my dentures in today, just for a while, see what it feels like. Damn, did you hear that? Uh, just one of the reasons. Yeah, still over top of the fan, or the air conditioner on fan, and hiding in this room, which, like I said, the bathroom is right there, the tub's right there, the actual stamping is out there. So she must be doing some world record stamping. That I don't know if you hear all that. That first initial crash sounded like somebody jumping on the floor. Um, but yeah, place is not good for my sanity, but it's good for my pocketbook, as they used to say in the old days. I was explaining on the internet what dropping a dime meant, because I made this joke about, um, I don't know if I already talked about this, and please forgive me if I did, because I talked about it to other people, but I don't know if I talked about it to you. But I made this joke. There's an there's anachronistic jokes out there like that don't apply anymore. Like this guy is so cheap that he throws nickels around like manhole covers. Okay, nobody even stops to pick up a nickel uh, if they got a bad back. It's not worth it. So it's a cool expression, but it's an anachronism it's a thing from the past. So uh, there was somebody talking about uh, John Wick killing people with pencils, and I'm like, I mean, this made a joke. They do say the pencil is mightier than the sword. And then somebody said, but is it mightier than the gun? And I said, well, the pencil always has lead in it. Then this other person came in there and said, pencils are mostly made with graphite. And I'm like, yeah, your sense of humor doesn't have enough lead in it, and it may need a dose of Cialis. You know, I made some joke along those lines, like, uh, you know, pencil, penis, lead, erection. Made some kind of weird joke, and it of course flew by him. And then I explained it. And I'm like, it's just like And back in the day, bullets were made out of lead. Pencils have lead. You know, guns can be empty. Pencils always have lead in them. And I'm like, I'm sorry if I sounded rude. You know, you could be young, or it's I use that word anachronistic joke, and like I explained, like dropping a dime used to mean putting a dime in a payphone, and it became an expression for narking on people, dropping a dime on somebody, and now a dime apparently is a very accurate pass, and dimes are assists in basketball. He dropped a dime there when he throws a bounce pass through somebody's leg. It's a fancy assist, or it's an accurate throw. And I was explaining that, like, even when I was a kid, and I'm pretty old, a phone call in a payphone, which I don't even know if they have payphones anymore. I haven't seen one around here forever. Um, was a quarter, but we all knew what dropping a dime meant. It meant like narking on somebody, calling the police on somebody, or just telling on somebody. Basically, it means calling the police on somebody, dropping a dime on them, turning a rat. Um, and then the guys come back and said, "Well, you're good, man. I'm 15." And that's when the conversation ends on the internet. Always, if I'm talking to a kid, conversation ends. And like I knew that, like when I used to try to do audiobooks, people would thank me. They would all be kids, and I guess they incentivize kids for reading books. So they would cheat instead of reading the books and listen to me read like the Iceberg Hermit, so these kids would get on there. I would not have extended conversation with anybody that claimed to be a kid, because they're either some weird adult catfishing me or they are actually a kid. And so, the hell with that. So that's when the conversation ended. That was a whole lot of nothing about nothing, which is basically what these videos are, except for 5 minutes worth of them. It's just a bunch of fluff. The main thing I'm talking about that had any substance in this video at all is my leg. I need to go to the orthopedist, and then I got a bunch of shit thrown out, and that the Coleman guy helped, and I gave him a couple of names to places to look into for me. Um, but I should just look them up on the computer myself and see if they'll just electronically send me an application, and then I have to figure out how to link. Well, I could probably just, I think I got a USB cable, and I can print out the application, or I can just fill it out online and email it to them or whatever. But basically, uh, the point of this video is, besides reporting and getting all that shit moved out, is my leg sucks, and if you want something done, do it yourself. Don't wait on erratic people that are paid to help you, and try to ignore stamping noises when you're doing a video, because if you all can't hear that, it just makes me sound crazier than I am. So anyways, it's been nice to talk to you, and for that person out there who had the mix up with their doctor and has to suffer, they said, until August, I wish you the best and hope you're not suffering too badly, which you probably are though. um, it's just, yeah, just never trust your doctor, always stockpile. So that's what I will call this video, even though the people that will click on it will be like, this isn't really about benzos at all. This is about this guy just babbling about this, that, and the other, and trying to make it all cohesive in some way and failing miserably. But yeah, I'll put that right in the title. If you're on benzos, stockpile in capital letters. That'll be the title to it. Anyways, like I said, it's been nice talking to y'all, and this is the part where I hit the red button and say goodbye. Goodbye.